Hey guys, Devlin Hessler's here, competitive bodybuilder, coach, and personal trainer over here at Gym in the North. This is my intro to bodybuilding. In today's video, we have an upper body workout for you. First exercise, incline dumbbell chest press. Again, we like to bias those top fibers, add that 3D depth to our chest. For setup, I like to have the bench set around that 45-degree angle. I make sure that my wrists are tucked under my elbows. And as I perform the rep, I like to finish with my hands directly above my chest, converging my arms in, as that is the function of your pecs. The second exercise, we're gonna throw a little bit of shoulders with a cable lateral raise. I have the boom set close to around my knee height. What that's gonna do is that's gonna make sure that there's a little bit more tension on the lower end of the lift, and it'll actually get a little bit easier as I get higher. When performing this exercise, you are wanting to make sure that your arm is at about a 15-degree angle in front of you. This helps take a little bit of the upper trap out of it, as well as the thought process with the lateral raises. You're trying to throw the top of your hand towards the far corner of the wall to your side. I like having lateral raises close to the beginning of the workouts, as those medial delts are very important to make sure you have a nice rounded capped shoulder. And the best way to do that is to hit them at the start of the workout when everything's fresh. You put as much emphasis in those as possible. So for the first back exercise of the upper body day today, we have a one-arm dumbbell row with a lat focus. I like to set up on a bench at roughly this kind of angle. This is comfortable for me. As you can see, I let my arm hang down below my shoulder joint initially, but then I hold the weight out in front of me. What this does is this allows me to pull in a diagonal motion, allowing me to drive my elbow towards my hip, which imitates the function of trying to bring my elbow towards the origin point of the lat. This will bias your lats far better than any of the other muscles in your back when performed correctly. Next up, we have a chest-supported low row. Now on this machine, I like to have the seat set as high as possible. I scooch my hips all the way to the edge of the seat and I lean my chest into the top of the pad. Now what's really important here is to make sure that you actually have a lot of your weight and pressure going into your feet. Otherwise, as you're performing the rep, all of that weight is going to be on the top of your chest and it's going to be very uncomfortable. I grab the bottom handles with a pronated grip, relatively close to the inside of the handle. I make sure my shoulders are rotated outwards so my elbows are pointed up and back. And then I perform the reps while squeezing my upper back together. Great exercise to make sure you hit your upper traps, rear delts, teres, rhomboids, all of that. Okay, this is our first superset in this series. We are starting with a chest fly, rolling into the rear delt fly on the same machine. For setup on the chest flies, you want to make sure that your hands are going to be around armpit height for this, as that is where the insertion point of your pec muscle is. I like to have a slight bend in my elbow to help take some of the tension off of my biceps, but when I'm at peak contraction, I do everything I can to try to straighten my arms as much as possible to make sure that I'm really focusing on the squeeze on that inner chest. Immediately after finishing the set of the chest flies, I swap around and I reset the pins to hit the rear delt flies. I scooch my hips to the very tip of the seat and I lean my top of my chest into the top of the pad. And then as I perform the rep, I make sure to stop at that 90-degree angle up beside me. If I go any further, I'm going to be contracting with my rhomboids, my mid-traps as well. My main focus on this exercise for today is just to try to hit my rear delts. Perform this by trying to throw the bottom of your hands towards the walls at your sides. Hey, look at this, we've got another superset. This one for the arms though. So we are going to be doing a rope tricep pushdown, followed by a rope bicep curl. So for the triceps, we start with the boom all the way up at the top. I grab the rope, I pull it in, I take a few steps back. I hinge at the hips slightly while my chest is up, and I pin my elbows. Remember guys, pinning your elbows in these types of exercises allows you to focus solely on the muscle that we're trying to target, and in this exercise, it's the triceps. After performing the triceps, I immediately lower the boom all the way to the bottom, and I start to try to hit the curls. I take a few steps back, I lean back at the hips with a staggered foot stance so I can keep balance, and I pin my elbows in front of me like so. As I perform the rep, I'm trying to pull each end of the rope towards the shoulder joint of that same arm. I'm not trying to pull up into the center. If I'm doing so, my joints are not aligned, and that's gonna be a lot of extra torque on the top of my elbows that we're trying to avoid. That's what we have for today's upper workout video. Catch us in the next one for a lower body workout. Good.